I work at AFTV, I got Marty with me. We've just beaten Monaco 3-0 in the Champions League. 3-0. Scoreline flatters a little bit.
Really?
Oh, you think it could have been a lot more than that?
Well, it could have been, but I mean,
It wasn't.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Obviously, we won 3-0, but it's a good scoreline.
That's a good scoreline,
Very good
but
scoreline.
do you think Arsenal should have put more in the back of the net? Should they have put more in the back of the net?
Well, I mean, there is always that, but beating Monaco, beating any team in the Champions League 3-0, keeping a clean sheet, it was a convincing enough win as you needed on a freezing cold Wednesday evening. Did I enjoy watching that? Yeah, I did. Listen, Monaco started quickly, and they could have nicked an early goal. They nick an early goal, and it changes the game. It changes the mood in the stadium. It changes the tempo of the game.
Is it something to be concerned about though, Marty? Those chances. Yes, we won 3-0, but is there things where you can say a better team punishes us in these situations?
You're playing against top quality opposition. This is Champions League football. Before this game, I think they were level on points with us in the Champions League. Level in this new format. So they can punish teams. They can beat teams. So of course teams are going to get opportunities, but they didn't stick it away. And you've got to think we're playing a back four with only one of our consistent players. In William Saliba, the other three, I say no disrespect to them, are makeshift, and I think they all came in and did a fantastic job. And I think Miles Lewis-Skelly, did an awesome job for the first goal. That ball comes across to him, and you lose that ball in midfield, and they go and counter and they score, and they're 1-0 up. But he didn't. He won the ball. The ball goes out to the left-hand side. Plays it out to Jesus straight at the back stick. Saka sticks it in. Fantastic goal. Before that, quite concerning in ways that obviously Jesus has that one-on-one in the goal's gaping, and the keeper makes a fantastic save. Does really well closing it down. But for me, that's got to go in. He gets another pretty much identical opportunity, which I thought was even clearer cut. And a very similar thing happens. He tries to he rehashes it. He gets a deflection off the player. And then literally Odegaard, he has which goes to show these, highlight. It's not just Jesus, but Odegaard has a chance where he goes one-on-one. And at that point you're kind of thinking, if Kai Havertz is on the pitch, are we 3-0 up at that point when Odegaard misses that? Odegaard had a few shots which, went fairly close, but they were never really troubling the goalkeeper. But, we go into half-time at 1-0, and, that's when you consider our slow starts in recent games against Manchester United, against Fulham, the first half we've been really slow. But I did see bite, and I did see levels of fight. It was just down to clinical finishing in the first half, and then in the second half, you'd like to say he brings the cavalry on, and this is, there's been a lot of debate this week about this number 9 and stuff like that, and for me, Kai Havertz came on and did an absolutely awesome job. That second goal, when he is chasing that goalkeeper down, you're applying pressure to the goalkeeper with the press, and he led that press. And then the ball gets knocked out, and Bukayo Saka, look, again, finishing wise, but people have been quite critical in some ways of his finishing. The goalkeeper comes out, narrows the angle. I thought their goalkeeper actually had a really good game. He comes out, narrows the angle. You try and stick that in the bottom corner, the goalkeeper gets it. You try and stick it hand high, I think he gets it. And he dinked it round the goalkeeper with ease and panache, and it was a fantastic goal. We're 2-0, and then, and that leads us on to the third goal, and Kai Havertz, that's I think 10 goals in all competitions now. The ball gets played in, and it's a number 9's finish. I was really pleased with Mikel Merino's performance tonight. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he played that left-hand side really well. And to be honest, until he got hooked, I was really pleased with Declan Rice. I thought Miles Lewis-Skelly, I thought that was a fantastic performance in the way that getting Champions League experience, it was talk of Tierney. I was thinking, Tierney's our option before the game, but, he came in, he put in a good, 65 minutes. There were a couple of times he slightly got caught, and what I loved about Mikel Arteta is he saw that, and that's where he introduced Timber. Don't forget, we're playing it with our number 6 as our right back as well. This was a game that could have gone horribly wrong considering the players that we're lacking defensively, but it didn't. We got, beating Monaco at home 3-0, I say it again, is a good result, and anyone who comes away from this disappointed, I think needs some psychological evaluation. I really do, and that's how I see it. You can't be too greedy. This is Champions League football, and you're beating teams like Monaco. Listen, I'm not saying they're the best team in the tournament, because then, You don't know, but they are a top team. And don't forget, you've got, I think there's other teams like Lille around in this, automatic qualification period, process. Look at what Real Madrid are doing at the minute. They're not doing too much. Yeah. So would you fancy those teams coming here 100%?
But does it build you enough confidence going into the weekend against Everton, say, like a performance like that? For you, happy with that and expect Arsenal to dominate against Everton? I know this is looking forward, but I think fans have a bit of overspill of emotion from the Fulham game. Then they're looking at this game and say, okay, cool, can we pick back up? Granted, the result says 3-0, brilliant, but is there enough in there to say, because right now I feel like Everton still might be tricky, because you say this is a Champions League, great result, but the Premier League's also something that fans are holding on to.
Yeah, that's Premier League as well.
Yeah,
and, what people have to understand is we're in competitions that are full with top-class opposition.
Fair.
Everton didn't play, they got their game cancelled against Liverpool, so you'd like to think that they're going to be chomping at the bit, ready to come here. And listen, this is a team that we have embarrassed at the Emirates, in seasons before with 4-0 them and stuff like that.
True.
So they're going to, listen, any Premier League team that comes here is going to be proud of getting a scalp like Arsenal, especially considering we are title contenders, and you've got to say they're nearer the latter end of the table. Is it going to be a tough game? I don't believe that you get any easy game. I don't even think Palace next Wednesday is going to be an easy game in the Carabao Cup. And if you want to win stuff, you've got to potentially look to be putting out strong sides. But luckily, we have, I looked at this side tonight, if I'm honest with you, and I looked at that as being very, very similar to a side that we'd put out in a Carabao Cup. Resting players, when you look at the back four, the substitutions that he made, starting with Jesus. Now, for me, that's not something that would be done by Arteta when you've got Havertz on the bench, but he brought him on at the right time and he done the business. These competitions, these games are coming thick and fast. What's great about it is we get to come to football. We're coming back up to the Emirates on Saturday and then next Wednesday. But for players and teams, and this is where you need the depth in the squad. I think it's underestimated about how much you use your side, and that's why, for example, we bought David Raya as a goalkeeper, because we play out from the back so much. That's the way we play football. So therefore, our defenders are going to be used a lot more, and we use them as wing backs. So therefore, that's why our defence gets put under so much more pressure, because that's the style of play we have, which supports the rest of the team. So for me, I'd like to have a little clear out in January. Of a few players that just are consistently injury prone, and maybe bringing in an elite striker and an elite defender. At the moment we've got 5 elite defenders, and people say, oh well, what are you going to have? 2 of them sitting on the bench. You're never going to go a whole season with your whole defence staying fit. It's just unrealistic. Or your whole team. You get injuries because of the level of competition and because of how tough and durable these games are. The tackles fly in. Premier League, Champions League, they're tough. That's why Premier League is probably one of the toughest leagues in the world, arguably.
Spitting bars.